locked in the game.
Give me a break, need another life. Oh, need another life. Give me a break, need another life.
Well, there are 3 more Premier League games left, but today's match between Arsenal and Crystal Palace could be seen as more of a warm-up for Arsenal, because following this is the FA Cup final, but the league points come first. So here we go. The league title run-in begins now. Arsenal had their last 2 games of the season against Newcastle United and Southampton. 2 very different scenarios, with Newcastle United kind of flying high this season and Southampton more or less relegated. Manchester City have a bit of an easier run-in per se, but all Arsenal need to do now is to keep winning. And of course, next time out is the moved FA Cup final between Arsenal and Manchester City. That was actually a confirmed fixture to have moved before the end of the league encounters. I'm not really sure how I feel about that, to be honest. It's always been an end of season kind of thing for me. But of course we have all the European finals coming up as well that we'll be bringing live to you. So, game number 1 of this title run-in. It's going to go down between Arsenal and Manchester City for the end of the season. Every expectation that it'll get to the end, with both teams winning consistently. It's going to be an interesting day today, though, because a lot of Arsenal's second unit is out today, including another game for Daniel Jennings in the Arsenal goal. Taking a look at the full lineup, he comes in, which means David Raya drops to the bench. Yuri Timber and Kimmel are the centre pairing today, with Zinchenko and Ben White. It's very young midfield of Miles Lewis-Skelly and Jack-Henry Francis there with Martin Odegaard. Victor Gyökeres and Raheem Sterling and Leandro Trossard are the front 3. Dean Henderson, no slouch in the Crystal Palace goal. Mate Gaye in the centre of defence. Sarr, Matea up front. This isn't going to be an easy matchup, but Eze has made the bench, interestingly. So every expectation for an Arsenal win, maybe. But like we said, this Crystal Palace team is no slouch. They actually gave Arsenal a game in the last league encounter, but I think Arsenal eventually prevailed. And all eyes again on another league start for Daniel Jennings. He's had quite an interesting first 2 games. He kept a clean sheet against Celtic in the Champions League and was very unlucky not to keep one against Ipswich Town, I think it was, where he played particularly well. And he's already made a good early save there. So every expectation that will Daniel Jennings make next season's full Arsenal squad team already. He certainly had the start to his career very promisingly. And here's Gyökeres already. Arsenal coming forward with immediate intent. Scoring has not been an issue for them. But, of course, Alexander Isak, thankfully though, has only suffered a minor injury and should be back for that FA Cup final clash against Manchester City. Mikel Arteta is not risking him after a bit of a scare in the match against Liverpool. Toss out to Gyökeres, and it's wide. But it was a minor scare against Liverpool, but it is thankfully only a sprain to his knee or to his foot, I think. That will only keep him out. It's only kept him out for about a week, so he should be back for the FA Cup final, thankfully for Arsenal, because every fear is that if Isak goes down, the whole system falls apart. I don't really believe in that theory. Arsenal have done plenty of scoring without him. to be fair. And I think if they win here tonight, that will certainly send a message that that theory will be debunked. And I think it already has been with Arsenal's stellar performances all season. It really has been truly a team effort. And here is Raheem Sterling. Explosion of pace, and what a goal by Raheem Sterling. Well, one of the most unlikely of scorers, but what a goal. An explosion of pace from Raheem Sterling. That was one thing he was really known for, but look at this. Pace explosion. Absolutely caught everyone at the Palace centre defence cold and puts it in the net. 1-0 to Arsenal. That's exactly what they would have wanted. Raheem Sterling still a very capable player in his own right, and he is somewhat fried in his low move from Chelsea. And it's took a bit of a time to find his feet, and he's not been the prolific starter that you would expect. But to be fair, he has really filled in his roles well when Bukayo Saka in particular is missing, who is another one who doesn't start today with all eyes on that FA Cup final. Sar's gone down, but I think advantage will be gained. And here he comes. He's kept it in, but Trossard cuts out. So Gyökeres is the man up top today in Isak's position, with Trossard and Sterling either side of him. And so far it's working. This is exactly what Arsenal would want. No Isak, no Saka. So far, no problems. And it is only 10 minutes into this game. And like we said, Crystal Palace, certainly a good up-and-coming team. Eze on the bench certainly would have filled Arsenal with some sort of confidence. But Matea is still out there, as is Mark Gay for the central defence reasons. But Sterling caught everyone cold with that explosion of pace there. And Gyökeres is offside. Oh, it's close. Oh, I don't know. That looks on to me. I mean, it really didn't conjure up a goal-scoring opportunity because I think Gyökeres was actually focusing on trying to keep the ball. He wasn't really bursting forward. So, I don't think it was a clear goal-scoring opportunity, but he really looked on there. Is it his fingers, maybe? Here's Zinchenko. Trossard has made a blazing run into the box. That was a very smart run there by Leandro Trossard, giving Zinchenko the space to go down the wing and actually going into the box. Very intelligent run by Trossard there. Here was Franke. Lerma. Arsenal doing the business so far. To bring Keywall in the centre of defence today. Keywall is becoming a much more central defender. So it looks like a somewhat kind of theory I had about Keywall probably suiting more to central defence is actually being used by Arteta. Maybe he watches our commentary on the highlight shows. Crunching tackles there. It's probably lucky only to go into the book, to be honest. I think Keywall certainly has the build for a centre-back position. He was naturally left wing-back, but I don't think wing-back really suits him because of his height, which really contributes to a lack of pace somewhat. But certainly, it was a beautiful touch there by Miles Lewis-Skelly. And he got the ball back as well. A lot of that youngster is rising through the ranks really, really quickly. He and Ethan Nwaneri are Arsenal's future, more or less. Well, an air of expectancy. Jeremy Doku has scored for Manchester City. So now the top of the table is as it was with Arsenal winning here. It's equal points, I think, now, but Arsenal have a very much superior goal difference. Martin Odegaard, and maybe shout for handball from the fans against Mark Gay there. Due or Gue, I'm not actually sure how to pronounce it, so I'm sorry if I've butchered the pronunciation of his name. Suchenko. Brilliant run by Suchenko again. And Holding has got there. Is that Rob Holding, former Arsenal player? Two Crystal Palace players tripping over themselves. Could be former Arsenal defender Rob Holding there. That went under the radar during the lineups. Mind you, the lineups are really fast this year. It's kind of one of the nitpicks I have about the country coverage this year. We haven't really been able to read the lineups as such. Riaka is to Sterling. And Trossard. Moving forward to Lerma. I think I found out at some point that I think Victor Gyökeres may have been at Swansea some time ago. Swansea or Brighton, I'm not sure which one. Oh, Daniel. Oh, and Gyökeres has gone to that pass to Daniel Jennings. Is he going to get an assist? Yes, he is. Gyökeres has scored, but it's a brilliant assist from Daniel Jennings. And the same technique that Arsenal have used in the last few games now. That's how David Raya got an assist as well. And Arsenal getting assists from the most unlikely of sources, the goalkeeper. And that's one for youngster Daniel Jennings. He'll treasure that one. Well, he may have only been playing his third game of the season, but in every single one of them, he certainly made a name for himself. Arsenal up by 2-0, looking comfortable. An assist for young Daniel Jennings. And Arsenal are in real control now. And if Jennings can have the kind of games he's had over the last two of his appearances, he'll do just fine. Here's an opportunity, and he gathers that one up as well. Well, remember the name Daniel Jennings at this point. Stunning. He may have only had 3 games this season. This is his third. And I think it'll probably be his last. They're going to go for the same technique again. And Gyökeres is going to get there, you know, but he's going to be pulled back for handball. But yeah, it's a tried and trusted technique that David Raya got an assist from a game or so ago. And just as a detour for a moment, big congratulations to the Manchester United Super League women's team who clinched the title last time in our coverage at the Emirates Stadium, incidentally, that we are back in today. And Arsenal will be hoping to get a win on the board for the men's team to continue their title challenge. I think it'll be towards the end of the season. That will be 21 years in a few weeks' time. I think it'll be 21 years since the Invincibles season, which was the last time, incidentally, that Arsenal won a league title. So what a wonderful irony to some degree it would be. Oh, what a goal from Gyökeres. A wonderful goal across there from Odegaard. Gyökeres makes it 3-0, and if Arsenal keep going like this, that league title could be a formality. Arsenal playing Palace off the park. What a cross this is from Odegaard. Inch perfect. Gyökeres getting to the ball first, and that's exactly why Arteta signed him. An absolutely brilliant header. Right out of the top drawer. Even Dean Henderson isn't saving that one. Arsenal 3, Palace 0. And it looks all but over already. Well, over 20 years since Arsenal's last league title, and it looks to be a very distant memory by the end of the month. 10 in 15 for Gyökeres. What a good return he's had as well. Mikel Arteta has made all the right signings in all the right places. And it hopefully will culminate in trophies next time out for the FA Cup. And Gyökeres made Dean Henderson into a save. Well, the FA Cup against Manchester City. Probably an air of expectancy about that as well. But that'll be next time out. And Arsenal have already got the better of City already this season in the league, which proves to be absolutely vital. As of now, Jack Henry, Francis and Ben White are two people in the box with the ball. But there's a foul. So Palace will get the ball and take the free kick. Which is going to be a goal kick, incidentally, really, for Dean Henderson. Here's Richards, who went into the book earlier. It's a wonderful ball to Frankar. Gets the ball going quickly there. And that's a Sarr, who's I think had 3 in his last 2. And Mateo with a bicycle kick, and it's wide. Well, another contender for goal of the season, but not, unfortunately, because he missed it. There's some stunning goals this year. Daniel Jennings, no one would have blamed if he wouldn't have saved that one. He probably would have had it covered looking at his positioning. That was the Skelly to Ben White. Well, would Arsenal need another goalkeeper? Daniel Jennings is doing just fine at this very moment. Here's Sterling. Sterling with the ball in, and Gyökeres almost got there again. Arsenal whipping in some beautiful balls in this first half. 4 minutes about it on time, and the game's all but over already. Gyökeres and Sterling, the goal scorers. Gyökeres with 2 of them, of course. And Lerma. Well, it was a good attempt. We didn't get all of it behind him. I think Jennings again would have had that covered. What a stunning year this young man has had. 3 games, so I know he's not really been like the big talking point, because David Raya, of course, is going to play the high majority of games. He is right in line for the clean sheet award. Once again, the Golden Glove award. He won it last season. And Gyökeres, it's not going to be exactly an assist for Jennings that time. At Daniel Jennings, he can really kick a ball and really kick it well. Good save from Henderson, to be fair. You really could argue that Dean Henderson probably should be number 1 at United right now. Of course, he really couldn't get a shoe in ahead of David De Gea, which makes absolute sense when you think about it. But after that, probably should still be there right now. Andre Onana certainly has been under a lot of criticism this season. But it's not just him with Manchester United, it's the whole team and the whole structure at the moment. It's not working. But, as we said earlier, the women's team certainly has done the business. And Arsenal doing the business here tonight. 3-0 lead at the break. They don't look like relinquishing it. Jennings is in top form once again. Gyökeres has 2. Sterling has 1. And Palace don't look anywhere. But it's just how good Arsenal have been this season. Arsenal 3, Palace 0 at the break. Welcome back to the Emirates. We are here for the second half. This Premier League tie in a crucial title run-in between Arsenal and Crystal Palace. Just to remind you of the situation concerning the end of the season, Newcastle United and Southampton are the 2 final games for Arsenal, one of which is could be against, I think, Southampton could be more or less relegated. It could have a say in relegation this season, but Time is running out for those at the bottom, and there's quite the gap between those and the safety positions. And Leo Trossard tries a shot. And one expected substitution. Martin Odegaard has made way for the second half, purely for FA Cup reasons. And I'm not sure who has come on. I think it was Wanyeri, actually. And we've heard that even Wanyeri could be assuming the 22 shirt next season. Speaking of the 22 shirt, the Palace one is coming on now. It's Edouard coming on. And I believe that might be the only shirt change of the season. We hear Wires Lewis Skelly might have one as well. May 17th. It's not particularly something I'm very keen on, but it is the FA Cup final before season's end. Again, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that, to be honest. I'm not sure what's facilitated that change, but it is what it is. Arsenal will take on Manchester City at Wembley Stadium for the FA Cup. The last time Arsenal won it, 2020, with Mikel Arteta. Perez, and I think he was trying to find Lewis Skelly, who was coming in behind him. Unfortunately, he lost control of the ball entirely. And Arsenal will go into that final believing they can beat them, because they already have this season. And Euro is he's come on as well. That's probably for Julian Timber, I assume. Actually, that's a substitute I missed. Of course, Lenny Euro and Gyökeres will not be featuring in the FA Cup final, as they are cup tied elsewhere. Jennings going for the tried and trusted technique again. And Gyökeres does get to the ball. And here's Sterling. Palace don't look anywhere. And who can blame them? Lewis Skelly. The ball's come off someone's arm. Trossard goes down. Penalty given. And it's a clear penalty. Montguet. And, well, I don't know about that. Actually, that could be rather questionable. I think we need to have a look at the look. Eze is coming on for Sarr. Arsenal have a 100% penalty conversion record this season. And Victor Gyökeres continues it. 4-0. And it is game over here at the Emirates. Another win for Arsenal, which is vital, because Manchester City are snapping at their heels. And Arsenal have a superior goal difference, but they can't afford to slip up now. Gyökeres makes sure he does it. 100% penalty conversion record this season. And it continues today. And I think that's the same with the Manchester United women's team as well. 100% penalty conversion record as well. And I believe... is that Mitoma from Brighton of Albion? I could be wrong. Oh no, it's Kamada. My apologies. It looked like Mitoma for a moment. There's 8. And another good save from Jennings. Tried and trusted technique from Arsenal here, and Gyökeres does get there. Well, Wolves are more or less relegated already, so Crystal Palace will take them on at Selhurst Park. And I think, as far as relegation is concerned, I think that matter could be settled before the end of the season as well, at least for 2 of the sides. Wolves have been rooted to the bottom all season long. Everton look to have survived. And of course, we will have live coverage of that final game at Goodison Park. And what a story. David Moyes brought in to save Everton from relegation in their final year. It goes to part Jack Henry Francis. Wonderful shot, but not strong enough to beat Henderson on that occasion. But what a feel-good story for the league that is. Phil Foden has made it Manchester City 2, Aston Villa 0. No real surprises there. Unfortunately for Arsenal, it doesn't give them a 3-point breathing room that they so desperately want. And wonderful movement there by Hordon, I think it was. Just couldn't put the finishing touches on the shot. Well, Daniel Jennings is just, I would say, about maybe 20 minutes away, 25, from his first Premier League clean sheet. He played well against Ipswich Town. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to keep it by a stunning strike that was scored, to be fair. With Skelly, the ball in, and Trossard, if he kept moving there, he would have got there. That was unfortunate. And here it's Sterling gets found. Gyökeres, it's wonderful play from Arsenal. Oh, and he's offside anyway. Look at this play from Arsenal. Sterling and Gyökeres have only been there a few months, and they've already bought into the philosophy, and it works. Mikel Arteta, the first man since Arsene Wenger to give Arsenal a league title. One of Arsene Wenger's signings many years ago. What a story. It would be wonderful, wouldn't it? You never can count out Manchester City out of anything. Pep Guardiola is the master for a reason. But let's hope, finally, after a final day, bitter disappointment last season, let's hope Arsenal can finally cross that line. And right now they look like doing it rather emphatically, to be honest, because even without Isak, they have absolutely blown Palace out of the Emirates today. A message sent from this team that even without Isak, we can still score. And what a story it would be, because I think, I'm not sure, but I think Newcastle could be Arsenal's next league fixture. What a story that would be for Alexander Isak to beat the record of Erling Haaland. He's only one behind him, don't forget. So he beats the record by Erling Haaland against the team he began the season at. I think even the Newcastle fans will probably stand up and applaud that. These days, you've got to sell to sign these days with the new PSR rules. And maybe at the end of the day, maybe it was Newcastle's reluctance to sell him, but they needed to make some signings. And Arsenal make their final substitution of the night. Havertz, Calvori and Vieira all come on for Lewis Skelly, Gyökeres, and I believe it was Sterling or Trossard. I guess we'll know in a moment. Lewis Skelly makes way for Vieira, and Timber actually makes way for Calvori. My apologies, I read that wrong. But to continue with the Newcastle story, to be fair to them, it has certainly worked. But they have probably missed out on Isak's production this season, considering what Arsenal have gained with it. And maybe that's something Newcastle could have dealt with, or not dealt with, but needed. To continue their title charge, because it's somewhat fizzled away by the second half of the season, which is very unfortunate. Eddie Howe, that trophy will come, and if it doesn't diminish anything Eddie Howe has achieved in his career. I, for one, am a big fan of it. I'm not ashamed to admit that at all. But the loss of Isak was telling, but if it's something that Newcastle needed to do to avoid PSR ruling, then it was a necessary sacrifice, and something that actually worked out to some degree. It's Newcastle's highest league position in some time, to be fair, so it certainly is a good platform to build on. That's a brilliant shot. Jennings would have had very much trouble getting there. A wonderful shot from Eze. Well, he was unlucky against Ipswich Town, but Daniel Jennings just 10 minutes away now for a very well-deserved Premier League clean sheet. And I, for one, hope he gets it. Keywall a lot further forward than usual. Sterling, beautiful play. And Vieira forces the save out of Henderson, and he gave us that up. Wonderful play from Arsenal. It really is like their invincible days, isn't it? They played football like this in the early 2000s. They were pinging the ball around. It was the hottest show in town. They couldn't stop what Arsene Wenger had with those players. You know, they had Henry and Perez and Patrick Vieira. Lundberg and Bergkamp, another two. And Eduardo is, it's unfortunate. Well, did Daniel Jennings have this one? Nope. He would have been catching air on that one, but luckily he was wide. And even though Daniel Jennings will only have, I don't think he'll qualify for any signature awards, but I think because he's part of the side, it's a beautiful header from Havertz, and now Sterling is away. Oh, let's put it over. And I hope, if Arsenal do win something over the next couple of weeks, that Daniel Jennings' name is up there. Neto, unfortunately, won't be, although he did contribute to a lot of what has happened for this season. Very well played in the Champions League, Roberto Neto, when Raya was rested. Keywall now has gone back to his more natural position of left back. Rory heads, not all convincing. Matea's gone down. Oh, is that a penalty? Oh, it probably should be, you know. I don't think it was a malicious challenge, but it certainly looked to be a bit of a high case for a penalty, should we say. Here comes Kai Havertz again. Vieira. And maybe Havertz should have gone on his own in hindsight. But really, Arsenal are just lowering the gears to get to the end of the game. They are 4-0 up already. And they won this a long time ago. With the ball in. Picks that one up and pings it back in. And now Havertz has made it. Oh. Arsenal have been on a different planet all night long. Havertz probably biting off a bit more, but he could chew there. To be fair, it was a very difficult angle in a very difficult situation. I guess, to be fair, he probably did very well to get the shot off in the first place. Under that pressure. And Sterling. And I wonder if maybe... Oh, Keywall! Well, certainly worth the effort. I wonder if there'll be some talk of maybe Raheem Sterling probably making his move permanent. I don't know. There'll probably be a couple players out the door. We know Arsenal have been chasing Benjamin Sesko for quite some time, but honestly, I don't think they really need him now. With Gyökeres and Isak, Benjamin Sesko could go where he wants. Really, I don't think Arsenal need him. Here's Eze. And, well, Sesko is the main man at RB Leipzig. He'd probably be taking a back seat if he joined Arsenal now. So, maybe Arsenal won't be probably needing any activity in the summer window. And you certainly would like to probably build on this squad, but right now, all the pieces are in all the right places. And Arsenal win by 4-0. A clean sheet for young Daniel Jennings. After a highlight of the night of being an assist for one of Gyökeres's 3 goals today, Sterling got the 4th, and Arsenal were in cruise control all night long. Next is the FA Cup final against Manchester City. Silverware beckons, surely, for this squad, right? Arsenal 4, Palace 0. So let's take a look at all the other scores and what that means for the league table. No changes at the top, as you can see. Liverpool lost by a goal to 0 against Spurs. Manchester City, as we saw, beating Aston Villa by 2 goals to 0. And Southampton, who are almost relegation bound, actually getting a vital win against Fulham, which saves them for another week. So, 3 games to go. Manchester City and Arsenal tied on 94 points apiece, but Arsenal have a very much superior goal difference of almost 50 plus, if not 50 plus at this point. Southampton, Newcastle United fell behind a long time ago, but it's a nice, comfortable gap between themselves and Chelsea. Liverpool 5th, Spurs 6th, Brentford go up to 7th ahead of West Ham. At their expense, Bournemouth 9th ahead of Brighton, and that completes the top 10. Still, a couple of places up for grabs as the season draws to a close. Fulham 12th ahead of Manchester United, and they've been probably condemned to 12th or 13th for some time. Palace losing leaves them in 14th. David Moyes' Everton are safe, as are probably Nottingham Forest. Leicester City could also make it as Jamie Vardy goes into retirement. But there is still a chance for Southampton to get out with a 4-point deficit. Wolves are more or less down, and Ipswich definitely are, because there's 9 points between them and Leicester City with 3 games left to play and a goal difference that's worse. So for Ipswich, it's down to the Championship. Wolves are pretty much there. Southampton are the only ones who could realistically get out.